Welcome back. It's not just adults that come to the U.S. as refugees, but kids do as well. And Mark, what does that process look like for kids?
Yeah, well, for kids, there's a few extra layers. The security screening process usually takes families through as a unit, so they go through all the applications and interview process together. But when they get here, kids need a lot of extra help and support. Ironically, they also tend to be some of the quickest learners. So one of the neatest things we have here in Spokane is a great partnership with the public school districts, especially District 81, but also Meade and the Valley schools. And they've got programs that are customized to work with immigrant kids, including refugees. And it's been really neat to work with some of those teachers, and like at Ferris High School, the Newcomer Center has been a tremendous partner. We're really proud to be able to work alongside of those folks.
Funny you should mention them. The National Teacher of the Year is Ferris High School's own Mandy Manning. Manning spent the past 7 years welcoming and teaching immigrant and refugee students from across the district at the Newcomer Center at Ferris High School.
So we put you in your language groups again because you're going to help each other.
So when I came to her class, I think I only know how to say hi. I was so nervous. I don't want to talk to people.
Miss Manning taught me confidence.
That's exactly what Mandy Manning aims to do for all her immigrant and refugee students at the Ferris High School Newcomer Center.
For a teacher, it's like your dream class, because they want to learn. They want to be here at school. They're excited, they're focused.
Their focus often comes from having fled dire circumstances, not just in search of a better life, but sometimes just life.
Life or death. You stay, you're going to die. You come here, there's a chance. And no one should have to go through that. So then to come here and not feel welcome, that's my job, though, to make them feel welcome.
It's an emotion-filled purpose. And as Manning stepped into her role as National Teacher of the Year, it's an environment that's gotten more politically charged.
I just think it's that fear of that if someone else gets something, then that's something less for me. And that's just not real. If people took the time to understand that, they wouldn't have this fear, because they'd realize that we've been living next door to people who are different from us since time immemorial. And frankly, that's what makes our neighborhood so interesting.
Manning knows the years-long struggle and work it takes for families to be allowed entry to their new home, and to her core, she believes we're lucky to have them.
And imagine how much more beautiful it can be if we just started to get to know each other and accept that we're all part of this world, and we're all human beings with beating hearts and love for one another and love for our families.
Manning believes Spokane is a soft spot to land for immigrants and refugees. She notes it's a relatively big city, but not too big where you're likely to get lost in the shuffle. And despite what you might think, this teacher believes the Spokane area has a kind of diversity that often goes unacknowledged.
Because we constantly hear that we're not a diverse community, constantly. And of course, we always have room to grow. But I can attest that we serve 77 languages in our district. That is diversity.
And get this, every single one of her newcomers who's graduated in the past 2 years has gone on to post-secondary education. Her former students have gone on to become doctors, teachers, engineers, and more.
So when a kid walks into my room, all I hope for them is that I'm going to help them be confident, to have belief in themselves, to ensure that they feel welcomed and loved, and that they truly can be and do anything that they dream.
What's your dream? What's your dream?
I always want to be a doctor, but she inspired me, she convinced me to do it.
So I am a cosmetologist because of her. I got my first job with her help.
Perhaps it's a testimony to the power of a little love and encouragement.
You want to come back? Yeah. I want you to come back.
There's definitely a reason she is the National Teacher of the Year.
You stole the words right out of my mouth. I was going to say that very same thing. Well, making the difficult decision to leave your home for a new country comes with a lot of uncertainty, but one refugee tells us why it was worth the risk.
But I'm like, It cannot get worse than what we got here. Let's take our chances.